Thoth, Kukulkan, the Egyptian Maya connection. Forgive me, I'm tad pooped, but I'm urged to read, so. In an ancient Mayan temple of Palenque, in present-day Mexico, there is to be found a wonderful depiction of the Mayan god, Kukulkan. Now, Kukulkan, according to historical Mayan accountings, came to Mesoamerica approximately 3,000 years BC, 1,000 years before Yeshua or Sananda, personifications of the same deity, Jesus. But to each his own, hey. He was said to be the son of the god Ea, Enki, and who, in the Eastern perception, was known as Ishtar, spelled Ishtar. Kukulkan's other earthly name, as recognized by contemporary Maya, was Thoth, Thoth, just in case, as he was known as the Egyptian culture Kukulkan. They both were known as winged serpents. They're quoting the winged serpent, Quetzalcoatl, who may have been his descendant. Here we are with the bloodlines, etc. Bada bing, ding, ding, ding. Welcoming in a new earth here as I chime in. So, Quetzalcoatl, who may have been his descendant, as in Kukulkan's descendant, or Enki's descendant, or Ishtar's descendant. There's so many, but it all's the same trip. By an earlier name of Asaru, interesting with the A's, Asaru, spelled Asaru, which was derived by the Aryan tongue. There are some very interesting correlations in the Norse myths as well, which will be presented in future research work, I am certain. And Ghost Wolf writes in caps, here, right here, for red, or exclamation point. I might have some faux pas reading this, but it's got to be read and uploaded to the internet, that web. So forgive me if I botch some of these words here. On to the next paragraph. Ra, or Osiris, it was said, was also known as Ningazida, and was Ea's second son. Interesting how there's always two sons, like Cain and Abel, Romulus and Remus. I digress. So, these two sons, Ea, we're told, was the greatest genesis that the scientist occurred on this planet. So basically what he's saying is these two were genetically modified children of Ningazida, or Ea, or Osiris, and Ra. So many names. So this story tells us that Thoth left Egypt, etc. When the prime directive after the fall of the Tower of Babel, which is very 444, very significant, was to change. So When the prime directive after the fall of the Tower of Babel was to change languages, i.e. divide humanity, humanity was getting it together to revolt against the ETs. But obviously they lost the battle. And Thoth would then come to the Yucatan, which is near Cozumel in Mexico and kind of off the coast of the Playa del Carmen. I was on my way there. For whatever reason, I didn't make it to the pyramids. And I feel like everything happens for a reason. But the Yucatan Peninsula, very sacred place. Lots of ley lines there. Energetic earth grids. So unfortunately, humanity lost this battle. This battle was a long time ago. Here we are again. Humanity. After this, Thoth would then become known in the Yucatan as Kukulkan. Tying it together. Over the millennia, the Enlilian war god religions of the Hebrew, Christian, Islamic tribes would hunt down and destroy all believers and true spiritual teachings of Enki and his benevolent son, Kukulkan, as well as all references to Isis and the temples of beauty were systematically eradicated. The Nag Hammadi, for instance. We've got the Gospel of Mary in there, but it's definitely missing. It's not complete, but there's just enough. Someone cared enough, a scribe, to bury the Gospel of Mary. And it was found in a jar somewhere in Nag Hammadi, Egypt. Just an example of the attempts of eradicating the truth so we would never really know the truth. Thousands of years go by and the people that are speaking the truth are, well, we meet a lot of opposition, but we're warriors, so we don't quit speaking truth. We lose a lot of people because people don't like the truth. Well, welcoming 2021, let it be a year of truth and love. I'm a little bit of a rant. I'm tired. A little sleepyhead. So, since we're all capable of, I'm going to mumble a little bit more, we're all capable of changing the collective and the narrative every single day. We all, especially tribe, family, global fam, we can change the outcome and prevent these temples of beauty, whatever they may be in this manifestation of this earth walk, I should say. We can prevent this fate. Unfortunately, the same fate had happened in the motherland to the Olmec, who had originated from northern Africa, and to the Aztec civilizations, constantly warring and destroying the more peaceful Toltec, Maya, and Inca peoples. And in the north, the great Puan, the mound builders, who were the direct descendants of the Egypta and Atlantis, and also known as the Sun Kings, descendants of the Agwa, Wahawi, or the bird tribes, were warred upon as well. And I'm just going to say the Paradise Fire, because I feel like there's a connection. There has to be. But maybe someone who comes across this writing of Ghost Wolf will draw that connection. Bird tribes. So their God was called Yahweh, or Yah. He was the gentle God, and seems even to have the same nature described in the Hebrew text. Now, remember, there is a distinct difference in the various Hebrew gods. Yahweh, Jehovah, the Lord, etc. They were different entitles with very different personalities and viewpoints about mankind. Though those names, Yahweh, Jehovah, and the Lord, all different. All diff, But again, opinion to each his own. Keep an open mind. It's very important as we enter the age of Aquarius. Here we are. Yes. In the first onslaughts of this war of the heavens, Enlil and his forces were beaten. However, by the very laws of the hierarchy of light, they could not destroy Enlil. Not too unlike the laws of the Native American culture today, which are carry-downs from the original understandings. The main game plan, it seems, was to keep humanity divided amongst itself. One faction constantly fighting the other for a united humanity with one faith that would propose too much of a threat to the children of Enlil. Here we get into a different kind of story. One that leads us to contemporary conditions. The fairy tale of the Tower of Babel was just that, a fairy tale, placed as an imprint in the hearts and minds of men to create a pattern of fear. Should we ever again oppose the gods? Ooh, it's time. Guilt and shame work wonders on a young mind. They destroy it. It's time. We're here to break those cycles. Shame, blame, and guilt. And we are a young race, after all. If there is any truth to the story of Babel, it is that the tower represents the mystery schools, and the knowledge of self and remembrance of origin, when universally shared, could unify us once again as Earth people. This premise, if we think about it, is very possible, and perhaps the underlying subconscious reason above all others for the senseless genocide that has been waged against all indigenous people the world over. Keep them on the run, keep them in fear, pit them against each other, and destroy all their sacred knowledge. For if there is even a chance that a shred of it will survive, they might, as in we might, remember who we really are. As we are, or were, a species with amnesia. Well, wakey, wakey. No longer can we hit the snooze button. Today is the day. Here we go. It appears, if we take a good look at the world around us, as though we continually participate in these patterns, where we relive the Enlilian warrior god religion cycles of returning to sacrifice, blood sacrifice that is, now possessing the abilities for wholesale slaughter. I mean, that shit's gotten pretty fucked up. But it can get unfucked by us, all of us, all hands on deck. This time yesterday, we are caught in the spell of mortality, the edict of the Enlilian Wars. Air quoting here. And the number of years of man shall be 120. End of air quote. We are following the cycles of the last 2,000 years, fulfilling Enlil's systematic destruction of the human species and the deconstruction of the temples of wisdom established by Enki. It is as if it too has somehow been encoded in our DNA. Don't get vaccinated. Wait that out. No medical advice, but you might want to hold off before you alter your DNA. That holds a key. Everyone has a key within them. There is a war. There is a very real war of consciousness. And both aspects are without a doubt occurring within us each individually, on a moment-to-moment basis. We are at war with ourselves, caught in the current of the struggle, the endless friction, and that friction that perpetuates the adrenal glands and shuts off the heart center. I know how that feels. Dang, does that resonate, y'all? Sure, a lot of us resonate. We are, for the most part, it seems, helpless as we fall victim to Enlil's ultimate deception. The Armageddon. For the Armageddon, the it already is. Armageddon, by the way, is a place, not an event. Oh.